Hi, everyone, and welcome to the MongoDB podcast. I'm Apurva, a senior AI developer advocate on the developer relations team here at MongoDB, and I'll be your host for today. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Definitely let us know where you're tuning in from today in the chat. So just drop a hi, tell us where you're tuning in from. Really excited for today's episode. We are talking about how to use generative AI for something called legacy app modernization. And I'm joined by Santosh Kumar Gupta from Accenture, who is leading app modernization for some of Accenture's biggest financial services clients. And I also have my colleague Sneha Das Gupta, who is a senior partner solutions architect at MongoDB, who collaborates with partners on their modernization and AI journey. So, welcome to the podcast, Santosh and Sneha. Really excited to have you here today.
Thank you, Purva.
Thank you. Hi, thank you, Apurva.
Hello. All right. So, let's jump straight in, shall we? For those who might be watching, who might not be familiar with the term modernization, which is our topic for today, can one of you just briefly touch on what that means?
Yeah, sure, Purva. So, first of all, thank you, Purva, for having me here. It's a pleasure to join the conversation along with Santosh. We have been working a lot on modernization solutions together. So this is just common ground for us. From a modernization point of view, if I just have to talk about what modernization is all about, it often involves moving from legacy systems to more contemporary solutions, such as migrating apps to the cloud,
Mhm.
adopting modern architectures like microservices, incorporating flexible modern databases like MongoDB, um, or even redesign the workflows to make it more agile and efficient. I mean, none of the conversations today end without talking about AI. So, with the advent of AI, the ultimate idea is so that we develop products and platforms which can, remain competitive and future ready in this rapidly evolving digital landscape. So, that's my take on modernization.
Sounds like a pretty tall order. And so, really excited to learn from you on how you have been working with Santosh and Accenture to make this happen for some of the biggest clients that we know of. Santosh, curious if you wanted to add what your take on that is.
Yeah, no, sure. Thanks for asking me this question, Apurva. Indeed, in the last couple of decades, got multiple opportunities to work with large banking and insurance clients in the app modernization space. Uh, and then, as all of us know, it's the highly regulated environment, and most of the legacy applications are highly critical ones with either millions of customers accessing them at various point of time, primarily in their retail space, or doing transactions worth millions of dollars in commercial space. So any change in existing systems like being taken with extreme cautions. So on the topic of modernization, the old application, which in most of the cases are 30 to 40 years old, sitting on mainframe, written in COBOL or even in assembler, in some of the cases with DB2 or IMS as a database. Also, in some cases, we have seen the application sitting on the very old version of Java stack. It kind of brings jitters to the CIO or the CTOs. On top of this, the kind of investment that they need to make in building a new application, then simultaneously managing the two until the new application is completely live, and then finally sunsetting the old one, all without any well-known repeatable patterns or dependable runbooks, makes it even more difficult to convince our client in this app modernization space.
So, can you tell us a bit about how you go about doing that?
Yeah.
Like,
So
I'm guessing like just getting buy-in and convincing humans is probably the biggest challenge that you need to face first and foremost before even getting to the technical challenges, right? So could we touch on that a little bit before moving on to just the more technical stuff around modernization?
Yeah, so it's mainly the way we have been able to convince our clients, in the backdrop of the complexities that I kind of highlighted, and also due to the lack of standardization methodology. The way we typically have approached and showed to our client is going through, or we divided the entire process into two phases. First, just focus on the reverse engineering, and
Mm-hmm.
then the forward engineering, wherein under reverse engineering, uh, the key objective is to extract all of the functional requirements which are embedded in the legacy system. As
Got it.
in most of the cases that we have seen is there's a very minimal documentation that exists, and
Right.
this is where it becomes very challenging, because we can't in fact expect the business to scavenge through the million lines of code and then list out the functional requirements. And at the same time, for technical team to document the coded logic comprehensively is
Mm-hmm.
not so easy, either. It's a Herculean effort if we expect from them as well. Hence, before the advent of the Gen AI, this step was extremely human dependent and error prone, because the tools that existed were not so strong.
Mm-hmm.
Then, now in the last couple of years, the Gen AI has helped significantly, where we pick a particular LLM, we fine tune it in our client environment following the RAG architecture, and then build a vector database on MongoDB, which consumes the source code of the legacy application and extracts out the embedded business logic in simple English format. It becomes so much easier for the business to review the generated documentation, add the missing details, which we then take and again, with the help of Gen AI, transition or transform into epics or user stories for the business sign off. So
Got
that's
it.
predominantly what we do as part of reverse engineering, and we have explained this to client, have shown, which gave them the confidence. And then the second step, which is the forward engineering phase, we are taking these business requirements as a basis. Predominantly a new cloud native microservices style application, gets built on modern databases like MongoDB, which
Mm-hmm.
is highly secure, scalable, and maintainable. In this phase, using Gen AI and agentic AI based Accenture's GenVisit platform, we had expedited the development of the new applications that we jointly have worked upon.
Got
So
it.
while this is the application building, now from talking the database and data migration from that approach, uh, after a few successful modernization that we have jointly done, now we
Mm-hmm.
have the template in place using which, going forward, we can enable our client in moving them out from the DB to IMS or Oracle or Sybase, etc., onto the MongoDB platform. I mean, if that helps in comprehensively responding to your question.
No, that was really helpful. And I know Sneha has already shared the template with me. So for those watching, we are going to look at that and talk through that in just a little bit. But Sneha, I wanted to get your take on how you work with, you're a partner solutions architect at MongoDB. How do you work with our different partners, such as Accenture, to uh, modernize apps for your joint clients?
I mean, I think Santosh more or less covered what exactly we are doing.
Hmm.
From the application modernization point of view, it is exactly the forward engineering and the reverse engineering that comes into place. Where
Okay.
as Santosh mentioned, these are the major ways where we do it. I from a MongoDB perspective, and as Santosh mentioned, we use the tools and tricks that we have right in our bucket. So we use a relational migrator, we use our CDCs and everything that is available as a part of MongoDB for the data migration part of it, as well as the code conversion part of it. I mean, we have
Beautiful.
because our relational migrator now supports any kind of code conversion. It gives a pre-built test analysis of what analysis of the already generated code and gives you a risk analysis of what would go wrong when you're doing migration. So this tools helps gain the confidence that the clients would need to for these kind of any kind of efforts like this. Mostly what we see are on the modernization happens mostly on the cloud. Like it's in phases, right? Like either the cloud
Mhm.
adoption or the AI driven automation that we are
Right.
seeing with the agentic AI coming into picture. So these are the major things. I mean, I think Santosh touched upon all these areas very well.
Makes sense. Can you give us some examples of, just to solidify everything that you've been talking about, can you give us some examples of the type of modernization efforts that you've jointly driven for clients so far and what the results of this modernization look like, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no,
You go ahead, Santosh. You can start off first.
okay. Yeah, I mean, sure, we can. Though there are many, jointly executed projects and examples that we have. But if I were to pick one, then in one of the top Canadian life insurance client, for one of their highest MIPS consuming, COBOL based application, we reverse engineered using GenAI, as I said earlier, to extract the business rules. And then it was more of a headless application for which we had to do this. We completely rewrote it in microservices style on Spring Boot. The database was migrated from DB2 and IMS. This legacy application had both 60-70% of the data on DB2 and then some good piece on IMS as well. We migrated that to MongoDB using Kafka streaming. Of course, initially, there were kind of challenges in terms of getting the right data and the complete data. But then with the 2 to 3 layering of it and then the transformation in each, we were able to achieve the same. And now the resulting application is fully cloud native. It's highly maintainable,
Amazing.
extensible. That it's quite scalable and secured. Sneha, you were involved in one of the US bank modernization project. Maybe you would like to talk about it.
Absolutely. I mean, we did a similar kind of a modernization for a large American bank with that struggles to scale operations because their monolithic architecture is complex and it was expensive to maintain. Um, Accenture helped them develop an accelerator in-house because we understand how banks operate, and always the tools that are available sometimes do not get approved at the current time or need of that particular migrations. So that's where Accenture came into picture, developed in-house tooling for Oracle to MongoDB migrations. It improved the performance dramatically, reduced cost, and enabled agile development. Once the migration was done, the response time of the legacy application reduced to 12 millisecond from 94 millisecond after migration, and
Nice.
with almost 95% data accuracy rate that was achieved post migration.
That's great. I love hearing those numbers. Sounds really cool. And I do want to touch on you've been mentioning cloud adoption and AI driven automation, which to me are really interesting themes, given I come from an AI background and yeah, been doing a lot of cloud work as well. So I'd love to dig more into that. Let's start with cloud adoption, right? And I come from a cybersecurity background, so it was a pretty common theme there where financial services, government sector clients would be pretty closed off to moving from on-prem to cloud. So really curious about how, one, you convinced those clients to make the move and what moving from on-prem to cloud really looked like.
Yeah. So, earlier in financial services sector, I agree, most of the clients were very, apprehensive about moving to cloud, especially from the security and scalability standpoint, where, if their applications already on mainframe, for example, which was highly scalable. But now, frankly speaking, I don't see that as a challenge because almost all the top cloud providers are providing the state of the art security services, whether at the
Hmm.
network layer or also are providing easy to integrate APIs at application level, the data, at the rest or data in transit level, the full encryption and whatnot. In fact, based on my experience that I see, most of the large FS clients have already moved at least their data and analytics, setup on cloud, and have them as cloud native, because that's where we see the maximum volatility in space of on hard disk or underlying CPU or memory utilization, for which consumption based billing model of cloud is the best model to go for. uh, the As I mentioned earlier, the challenge lies in touching their very old OLTP applications, which
Hmm.
are their cash cow, for the
Yeah.
financial institutions. And in
Right.
modernizing them without any disruption to the business is where it becomes a bit challenging.
Got it. So is it more like just educating your clients on education and transparency? Is that where it's at to help them, make that move?
It's more of giving them confidence, that yes, uh, it uh, it is doable, and we have the
Mm,
credentials, we have the templates, we have the processes defined.
got it.
And then of course, as I said earlier, with the Gen AI, it has become relatively more easier. I
Got
mean,
it.
not to say that the complexities are not there, still they are there, but then
Mm,
now we are much more better equipped as compared to how we were, say 5 years back.
makes sense. Sneha, do you have anything to add here?
I mean, I completely agree with Santosh. For banks, the way we earn trust on cloud adoption is just making sure of security, compliance, and the continuity, which is non-negotiable. And when we prove all this with the faster value, like faster go to market, that's what makes all the difference. I mean, with as Santosh mentioned, right, with MongoDB Atlas using private endpoints, using encryptions, KMS keys, IAM roles, like um, from encryption at rest, transit, in use, doing all the auditing and data residency controls, multi-region deployments. These are the jingles that make make it more real for the customers.
Makes
Okay,
sense.
so yeah, so it's just how we try to tell them how it works and show them, and we have been showing them that this is how it would work, and there will be complete business continuity. So and there is a huge amount of TCO that goes down with it, with the cloud adoption, with the pay as you go models that we have, with the auto scaling that we do from when we move to MongoDB Atlas, which is our cloud-based platform, and then consolidating all this in our MongoDB Atlas data platform with generative AI. I mean, it just reduces TCO, betters the customer experience, and controls the risk. So
Can you just clarify what TCO means?
it's the total cost of ownership.
Oh, got it.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't familiar with that term, so thanks for that. Uh, cool. All right. I think security, reliability, all the cloud controls that you mentioned already really, I think that already makes for a much um, better experience for these convincing your clients that this is the right move. But I work in the AI space. So I'm personally really excited to dig more into that AI and automation piece as well. So could you tell me a bit more about what that looks like and what, according to you, is the biggest unlock for modernization with AI?
Yeah, certainly. And I know some of these I kind of covered and might sound repeating. But yeah, the Gen AI certainly has come as a boon in app modernization space, because not only in reverse engineering, it has allowed where it has allowed the extraction of embedded business rules or logic from millions and millions of lines of legacy code, but also as part of the forward engineering, using say the Accenture's GenWizard platform, we are able to generate the user stories, the epics from the business approved generated
Mm.
documentation, also able to generate the test scenarios, test cases, etc. Even the say Selenium based code, and then the execution of all that, and then the tools like GitHub Copilot, the generation of code, the unit test cases, etc. So I mean, all in all, the Gen AI has not only accelerated the modernization journey, but also has given our clients a good confidence in succeeding in this endeavor.
Makes sense. Uh, Sn-
Yeah,
Sneha.
I mean,
Mhm.
sorry. So just to add to what Santosh just mentioned, like this is exactly what's working. The biggest hidden logic of the legacy code when we put it into a knowledge base, it reduces and then we can build on top of it. Generate the schemas out of it using our relational migrators, and it compresses months of discovery into weeks, reduces little bit of estimated dependencies that we used to have on the legacy applications that we had, and also with just because we are forefronting this AI space with Mongo, our integration with Voyage AI, where we can build, we have got our own embedding models, which have specific work, domain specific embedding models that we use for these kind of changes, or any we also have like our MCP server, which we recently launched, which helps customer build these kind of agentic solutions as well to fast track the modernization process. So all in all, it's the entire package of the data platform that works for them
Mhm.
during the modernization journey.
Makes sense. I also hear you have a blueprint that you'd like to show for what this AI augmented modernization stack looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and share that, and maybe you can walk us through some of the key points of that architecture. And
Absolutely.
for those watching, as you can see, Sneha and Santosh have a lot of experience with Gen AI, building cloud first architecture. So definitely start putting questions in the comments for us to get to after this. We get to the questions that I have for them. All right, Sneha, over to you.
Yeah. So, I mean, this we jointly build along with a few of my colleagues. And so, what we are trying to showcase here is like a very generic kind of agentic AI solution that would work for any kind of, it could be modernization, it could be any agentic framework that you're trying to build.
Mhm.
We understand that Atlas, MongoDB Atlas sits on the as a brain of it, where you store all the data, be it your episodic memory from the agents, be it your the data, as we mentioned, the knowledge base that we would initially share and store as in the form of vector search. We could also have like the operational data that we have, because MongoDB stores the operational data as well, and then all these agents, and this could be any agent orchestrator, right? We integrate very well with LangChain, with QUI, with Google ADK. It could be anything, and you could orchestrate your agents with anything. All these agents in between will be interacting with our MCP server to talk to the database and get the information. Be it could be any RAG based information, or it could be any generic information related to the data that has been stored in the MongoDB database. Okay, so this is the backend part of where the orchestrator and the database would look like. Once we build a front end to it, like it could be from, it could reside as a backend MongoDB solution for it, but also if you want to integrate it with the front end solution, be it your React or your Streamlit solution, so
Mhm.
that the user can interact with it, that's also something which can be easily orchestrated with these architecture. And also the last part of it, without taking too much time on this architecture is when you all have the data, you would want, to showcase the data in the form of reports or dashboards. And that's where our Atlas charts and SQL interface comes into place, where either you can show it on Atlas charts, or you could show through the SQL interface connected to Tableau, Power BI, or any other dashboarding tools that you want to integrate with. And if you want to do analytics, very heavy
Mhm.
analytics, data warehousing part of it, you would be able to, with the connectors that we have with Databricks or with Snowflake, you would be able to do that kind of a connection as well. So what we are trying to showcase here is an end-to-end agentic AI solution with
Yeah,
MongoDB Atlas.
very cool. I hadn't thought of some of these other features that you could integrate into agentic apps as well. So, really solid. Thanks for sharing that. I did have a few more questions. I do want to leave some time for audience questions. So, wanted to move into something a bit more forward thinking. So, what does this MongoDB and Accenture partnership look like as we are moving into the generative AI era? Like we're already there, but I know you're just starting out on on the joint generative AI journey. So, curious what that looks like moving forward.
Yeah, so Apurva, the way we are working closely under this Accenture MongoDB partnership, it has multiple aspects. Number one, it's a kind of a, I see this as a perfect alliance where to our clients, Accenture brings the SI experience along with a large talent pool on the table, whereas MongoDB brings a leading platform, which is not only a platform of choice for building vector database in any Gen AI fine tuning process, but also a cloud native database, which
Mhm.
is pretty much cloud provider agnostic, uh, highly scalable, highly available. So that way, and given recent trend, most of the FS clients are not getting tied to or bound to a particular cloud provider. So that
Right.
way, the MongoDB sits in a very good spot, a sweet spot, as
Mhm.
a viable option. Number two, to our partnership, we are building a large pool of MongoDB certified and experienced developers who can expedite the modernization journey to our clients.
Right.
Number three, through the combined work on real case studies, we are building a Gen AI based accelerators, repeatable approaches which can be deployed in the next set of projects to achieve the desired results faster. For example, while rewriting one of the legacy application
Mhm.
for one of the largest NA insurance client, we built and used Accenture's GenLite tool successfully, which then now can be reused in subsequent implementations across the various clientele across
Very cool.
geography.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. You want to add anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a concrete partnership. We recently are actually working where we have a 20, 30-year-old with a client actually, where they have a 20, 30-year-old code spread across 21 repositories, fragmented logic, very minimal documentation,
Mhm.
and obviously the modernization was slow because of manual analysis and SME bottlenecks. But with Accenture, we have combined the cloud adoption on MongoDB Atlas with the AI driven automation via GenLite. So GenLite runs in the client contained rack setup with MongoDB as the knowledge base
Got
and
it.
the vector. So the AI agents ingest legacy code, extract business rules in plain English, keep agent memory, and power conversational interface between teams, which can query the code and logic. So,
Got it.
I mean, yeah, the impact of this is huge. It's leading to faster migration for DB2 and Oracle for these cases, and it's a durable workflow for claims and operations for this particular client at least.
Very cool. I'm excited to see do you? I'm curious if you write about any of this stuff and share it publicly for others to learn from uh, your learnings. I know you have a blog coming up, so we'll be linking that in the video description, hopefully. But also, yeah, I was just wondering if there's other places that folks can check out some of the work that y'all are doing jointly.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, as you rightly said, uh, we just recently has concluded writing the blog with more details onto it, and
Mhm.
it will come out very soon. And then, of course, with the current and future opportunities wherein even the agentic solutions will also come in play. So we will continuously keep on refining our templates and then make available with the refined blueprint and whatnot.
Sounds good. All right. I did want to leave some time for questions, but yeah, but these were all the questions I had from my end. Thank you so much for taking the time. But yeah, before I wrap up here, did you have anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
I think if I were to summarize, probably I'll say, first of all, thanks, Apurva, for giving us this opportunity. As I said, with the advent of Gen AI and agentic AI, Accenture and MongoDB are closely working and will continue to do so on building an approach, refining it continuously, and have the solution to further automate and optimize this app modernization because it's a very huge market and very compressing, compelling for our clients and we'll keep on coming with the refined version of our solution blueprint as we keep on learn more and more in this journey together.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Accenture and MongoDB are working hand in hand with clients to accelerate modernization and maximize the impact. As Santosh mentioned, we have co-authored a blog that highlights our joint approaches and results, and I think we can share the link as well. So thank you. Thanks, Apurva, for giving us this platform to share our partnership story.
Yeah, of course. I'm looking forward to more. With that, let me see if there's any questions so far. We do actually. Um, I think there's a question about MongoDB source code, but I don't think that's something we can solve in today's live stream. So please reach out to us in our community forums. Um, any certificate for participation? Unfortunately, not for this live stream, but we have a lot of MongoDB certifications that you can take. They are available on our website. There's a bunch of university courses, which are more shorter skill courses where you can take skills on moving from RDBMS to MongoDB's document model. There's generative AI security related courses. So a lot of certifications and mini skill badges kind of things that you can take from our website. But yeah, if there's any questions about just migrating to the cloud, building AI applications, we have two experts here. So definitely feel free to put in your questions in the comments. Right. I don't think we have any more questions at the moment, but this video will be around on YouTube. Typically, we also see people engaging with it after the live stream. So, um, yeah, just for folks watching, feel free to engage with that after the fact. But yes, Neha and Santosh, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. It was a pleasure to host you on the podcast.
Same here,
Thank you.
Purva. Thank you.
All
Have
right.
a good day.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you so much.
Bye.